In this video, I'm going to be going over traditional time, 4s or Ls, depending on what you call them. So we're going to have our sticks in our normal position. I like to keep the ball between the finger and the thumb here, and you're going to hold it like this the entire time. What you're then going to do is lift the left arm up and down, the right up and down, and that's the vertical motion. Then the horizontal motion will be this with a drum right here. The most important part is this vertical motion here. What you're going to do is you're going to actually turn your arms up with your elbows facing all the way down, so perpendicular to the ground, thumbs up parallel to the ground, and then coming all the way up, and then pivoting and going down. You want to create that nice, straight, parallel line. It's important not to lift your shoulders up like this. Keep them relaxed. Keep all these muscles here relaxed. You're pivoting here and here. So make sure you roll your shoulders back so you have full range of motion in your shoulders. And what you're going to do is you want to lead with that elbow. And then once you come all the way up, then you bend the elbow. The wrist does not bend at any point. Up, bend, up, down. So leading, like pulling a string all the way up, bending, coming all the way down. That's the most important part. Keeping that line there. Now, it's quite possible that your body mechanics don't allow you to go all the way up and bend like I can. I have a very flexible joints. I'm a pretty flexible person. So it's quite possible that you might not have the same flexibility and range of motion that I do. I would encourage you to try to get that range of motion by doing stretches and doing it slowly, but don't hurt yourself. If it's not going to go, if your shoulder doesn't work the same way as mine, if your elbows don't work the same way as mine, maybe you've had surgeries or whatever, then it's not too big of a deal. The most important thing is that you don't bend too soon. What I see a lot is people doing this. It is not this motion. You want full range. So even if you can't go all the way up and you end up going here, you still don't move here until your arm is completely straight. Only one hinge is moving at a time. So, to recap, by pivoting your arm so that the elbow is facing down, allows you to keep that line. If you turn it, then you will not have that nice parallel line that we're looking for. So think about where your joints bend and how they bend, and whether that is in the direction you want them to go. So when taking all of that into mind, keeping the elbow down, only moving one joint at a time, you can start creating that nice, pretty line. Now, let's put it together with our horizontal movement. We always hit with the right first and flourish with the left first. So we're going to be going here. So hitting the drum with the right, flourishing with the left. It's going to be about 45-ish. You're going to come up and over. This is practical because it needs to come up and over the drum. You will also need to come from a height to come down onto the drum to hit it. You can hit it from the side, but that's not the vibes we're going for. Right, so now we've gone over to the left. So our left is hitting and our right is flourishing. Now our right needs to hit. So the right's gonna come in and the left is gonna come up, okay? So that's when you start getting your left into position, come up, down, that was a very exaggerated way of doing it. So that was an exaggeration. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. One, two, three, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. This traditional time is the foundation of a lot of other flourishes as well. You can go from here and put in forward 8s or singles. The world is your oyster in terms of what you can do with that. But traditional time, it comes up in all mass band stuff, and it is from this posture that everything else is based. Because especially this here, this is the line where you're going to be doing all other flourishes from. And just as I said before, the elbow is staying down, the crease of your elbow is facing up so that you can do this. If you do not put the crease of the elbow up and your pointy elbow down, then you start drifting with the elbows, and that isn't as clean, it doesn't look as nice. So it's about bringing that in. You will be using these muscles in here. And that's it. That's traditional time. Now, if you want to get into regimental time, it is very similar. You just do a tuck. I find regimental time to be really good for 3/4. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. It's really nice for that. But you can add it for 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. You can put it in just about anywhere. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1. If you noticed, what I just did there is I only brought my elbow up to about here and not here when I was in the video where I talk about your arms, I bring it all the way up. A lot of times you don't end up having time to do that. So other than stress bass or maybe something slower, you probably won't have time to get all the way up there. So you can bring it down a little bit. The problem is you don't want it to look lazy either. So you don't want to do this. So you don't always have to bring it all the way up. And a lot of times you don't. Practically speaking, it's not really feasible when you have good musculature, when you have good support, and you have a lot of practice. You can be a lot bigger. If you're not as well developed, it's going to be a little bit harder. For example, if you're doing time in a reel, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and, it's going to be really difficult to get those elbows up to here in time and not dislocate your shoulders. So, but you can really do it during a stress bay. Ask any tenor. Stress bays are probably going to be their favorite. I know it's mine. Stress bays are so much fun. Because you can do these really big moves. The tune is really well suited to big, boisterous tenor movements, where as opposed to especially a reel. If you're doing a reel with traditional time, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and, you can't really get it up there fast enough. It's gonna be difficult. The main thing to remember is keeping your line and only bending 1 point at a time. 1 and 2. See, when I get it up there, I get to the point where I want to engage the bottom of the arm, where I want to do that pop. I get it up there. So for me, it's about eyeball. It's about here. And then I come down. I would say make sure that it's at least above halfway. So maybe jaw to eye level, or like forehead level, I would say. At least. You don't want to be doing this. It is not this. We're not playing taiko drums. That's appropriate for taiko drums, not for tenor. So